Welcome back to this week's training vlog. First session, first of 3 sessions I have for you. So the first session is finally a full session in the commercial gym I train in the Fly Fit. So normally I don't really like filming there. I don't think they have any problem with it. I know parents used to do it and they talk about tagging Fly Fit if you have social media pictures and stuff or whatever, like they don't have a problem. But I wouldn't really like to be, just out of politeness and, lack of ego or whatever, I don't really want to be filming people with a full camera set up. But I knew Friday evening would be pretty quiet and there wouldn't be too many people around, and I got the corner platform, so I knew I'd be able to get a film in without getting too many people in the background. So obviously I'm not taking shots at anyone. Nate or the American lifters, the mogging for medals or whatever, so it's I'm not. I just jumped on the bandwagon. I actually don't even know what mogging means. Fitz doesn't know what mogging means either. But that is that's how it goes. So this session, a lot of snatching, a couple of waves up to 115, from 100 to 115, then 105 to 115, then 110 to 115, and then a couple of doubles to finish at 115. So at this point, I think it's been something like 10 days without a rest day, and I was feeling it a little bit. I should have taken a rest day the day before this, but I wanted to get my heavier volume squats in, and I knew it at like 45 minutes an hour to get a session in, and I wasn't feeling tired, so I did my 5x3 at 200, which is a progression of the volume I've been doing at the moment with back squats. So this was then the preceding day on the Friday, so still hit what I needed to hit, still hit what I wanted to hit, but I probably should have had a day off the day before. These are decent, pretty happy with it overall. Still trying to fine tune that first pull, not knocking the barbell away off the ground, which I am doing. The rest of the pull is quite decent, but my big focus at the moment is the correction of the first pull, how my dynamic setup goes, and how much time I'm spent waiting after I pull. So, the dynamic start, very, very, very useful. You want to produce a lot of force fast. The dynamic start's incredibly useful for that. So it is very valuable to put your time into it. But we also still want to be getting good quality sets in, good quality reps in. You want a dynamic start that is repeatable. You want something that you can do every time, and something that puts you into a good position. So the repeatability and something that puts you into a good position is very, very important. So that's something I was really focusing on for those snatches. Then moved on to clean and jerks. Similar thing again, the dynamic start I'm looking for and what I need to do to make a repeatable but very, very strong position in the first and second pull of the cleans. And thus, if you have a good first and second pull, you're ended up with a very good pull under. So I think this is probably what you'll see the dynamic start will look like for the rest of the kind of training block, or what I'll be going with. I think what's kind of suits me the best. So just some singles up to 130. Moderate percentages based on the current kind of quote unquote 1RM that I have at the moment of like 150. Obviously it's not my 1RM, but it's what I've done the most, and that's kind of the best way is to work off of your actual representation of what you can do at the moment. So a lot of singles up to 130. I think I did not a lot of singles, moderate. It's a moderate to large amount for clean and jerks. Anything over 3 singles for clean and jerk would be considered higher volume due to the nature of clean and jerks. So 130 for singles. Quite happy with some of these. Main thing I'm focusing on is kind of sweeping the barbell back off the ground and pulling under very fast and aggressively. So then moving on to the second day, the Saturday. So this day then was a lighter session, so I had a lot of snatches and clean jerks the day before, so I didn't want to be hammering that again. You have to kind of change that loading, lighter, medium, heavy days, and change them accordingly in a manner that makes sense. So low hang snatches are something that are very, very useful for my snatch. I haven't pushed them very far on this block yet, as I was focusing on other things, but they have now made a return to low hangs. So this session, 6 sets of 2 90 kilos, and then I did 1 set of 3, you'll see in a second. So just holding the bottom of that hang position for a little bit longer, just feeling the position, just trying to work on that mid and upper back position, something just making sure I'm in tune with and controlling properly. And then just 1 quick set. So again, try to keep the position similar to the snatch from the floor, but still getting benefit from the low hang. So I like the low hang because it's a better representation. It makes you work a little bit harder. The high hang can be useful sometimes, and is something I'm using at the moment. But at other times, you can end up in a fake position. You can end up in a position that is not representative of from the floor and may not be very productive for you. Whereas a low hang is almost always really productive. It's a very valuable exercise. Then we moved on to my main clean assistance exercise that if you've been watching the vlogs, I've been talking about a lot, is the power clean. So I'm literally power cleaning up to 3 times a week, which is actually, make no mistake, it is a lot of power cleans to be doing, but it is something I need to work on, and it's something very valuable for my cleans. You can see me grabbing my knee because it's weightlifting, but the power clean is my main concern. It's going quite well. Never great at power cleans. 160 I think is my best. Relative to my clean and jerk, that's actually not too bad, but what I want to clean and jerk should be kind of around 170. It's not so much the weight, it's just my ability to do them would be a better representation. Also doing the pause jerks, which are benefiting me quite well, I think. So just kind of working up in small enough jumps. The most I've done so far is 122 plus 1 for this kind of complex. So the 2 power cleans and 1 jerk, or 1 power clean plus 1 pause jerk. So marked up to 125 for 2 singles, and I'll go for tonight actually probably 2 power cleans and 1 pause jerk. So very happy with the mobility in my front rack and my overhead. I think a lot of handstands at the moment as well, which are helping nicely. And then the pull on this, I am pretty happy with it. Obviously needs to be heavier, but it is okay for now. And very happy with the jerks. They look quite good, quite snappy. So okay, then we're moving on to the next day. So quite happy with this session. So I'm really happy with how the dynamic start was going, the sessions. So for this, again, I'll be honest with you, I was fatigued, but I did exactly what I needed to do and what I wanted to do, and the weights moved well. So, doing a lot of volume, and then every kind of 6th snatch session or so, I will work in from higher volume singles. So in this session, I did 6 singles at 120, and I'm not going to lie to you, these were pretty fucking good. I was very happy with these. So this is 130 at the moment, again, quote unquote, our bunny ear is my max at the moment. So 1 singles at 120, repeatability. Still want to get some meaningful volume in. So, for snatching, like we talked with clean and jerk, 2 or 3 for clean and jerk would be a lot, but for the snatch, it's not super productive. You want to be hitting at least kind of 5 or 6 in terms of meaningful weights. With these, it was at start position, making sure it was a good position, sweeping back off the floor, and then fast pull under, which is one of the things I was doing a lot with the hang snatches, so it was actually helping. And then I got in 2 singles at 125. So what I was really looking for here was repeatability, consistent movement, confident with that movement, and I think I was achieving that quite well. So training block in that regard going well. And then we moved on to clean and jerks. So for this, I'd actually just planned to do some more singles, but I was feeling, the weights were feeling good. So I was like, right, this will be, if I'm going to do singles at 130, 140, I might as well keep going up. So you can see the dynamic start I changed there. So it's kind of a style I've used before, and I just wanted to try, see how it feels at the moment, see how it gels with my current understanding of the clean. Now, by no means bad, but you'll see it's slightly heavier. It could be better. Very happy with these jerks as well. So a lot of jerk work at the moment. So it's certainly paying off. 135 here. So this kind of a more aggressive dynamic start, which I don't think I actually need. It's something I tend towards, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily good. So like this 140 is quite good, but 140 is not incredibly meaningful. The pull under could be better. Like the timing of this is good and it's strong off the floor, but is it necessarily the best one? I don't think so. So here's 150, a slightly off balance in the catch position. Jerk is decent, and then I went for 155, so it would have been the most I've clean and jerked so far in this training block. But I nearly saw the light as I stood up with it, so I had to drop that bad boy. Here I'll just show you a clean and jerk sets from last night, so a different dynamic start, so back to the kind of what I've been doing for the last few weeks. And so big thing I was focusing on was like sweeping the barbell back off the ground, a more consistent dynamic start, not as aggressive in the initial pull, but still a dynamic start. You'll see it's just a lot more consistent, a lot more precise, I would say, and a lot more stereotypical of what good technique is. A good example of this is Mark Huster. The Germans love him, and he's a great style of technique. So he really embodies that kind of sweep back off the floor. He's a good example of that. The Germans, for example, Martin Gereza, someone I've talked to a bit and spent some time with, one of the German coaches in the 1988 Olympian for Germany. He a bronze medal in the Olympics actually. He used Mark Huster a lot in his teachings as someone who's a great technique, and they are a big fan of him. So Mark is a good example of that, and it kind of embodies kind of what I'm talking about. And then moved on to front squats. So actually in the Friday session I forgot to mention, I hit 180, which is 10 kilos more so far in this training block. So in this session, while I could have done back squats, more beneficial for me would have been more front squats. Big thing I was focusing on was holding the full grip as much as possible in the front squat. And you'll see in that 170, I didn't do it. I had some stern words for myself, and I came back and did it. So my external rotation, my left hand side, is slightly lacking compared to my right hand side. So you'd see in the right hand side of a lot better grip in it. And this is 190, so moving quite well, very confident with it. A little bit off position in the bottom, but something I'm quite happy with, and so I'm going to keep working that full grip for the front squats. It's very beneficial for jerks, but it's something I'll probably try and move to in the full clean if it feels good. So it's a little bit more secure in the bottom position, so I'm quite happy with that. So the 190 is decent. Try to get up north of 200 this weekend at their weightlifting camp with Gabriel, and maybe some volume at kind of 200 again, maybe sets of 5 in the back squat. So in general, I think things are going quite well. A lot of stuff to work on, a lot of stuff to keep working on. I hope you're enjoying these training vlogs. For today's algorithm comment, tell me what your first car was. My first car was a Suzuki Grand Vitara. What was your first car, Fitz?
My first own car?
Mm-hmm.
Peugeot 206.
Peugeot 206. Let me know what your first car if you're in that situation. Thanks, guys.